I cannot tell you how over I am of this idea that saying that there are biological women or there and there is transgender women is somehow exclusionary to transgender women. How? That's Here's why I do not find it to be so. Okay? The logic is sound, the science is sound, the philosophy is sound. So stay tuned. Biological women, as they grow up, the adult women pass down womanly wisdom to their offspring. Changes that only biological women experience. And then that is passed down, and then that is passed down. Transgender women, that is not the case. You do not go through the same experience. Your experience is fundamentally different. So while women have womanhood and girlhood, transgender, you have your own version of that, but it is your own version of that. Biological women do not have to undergo some of the things that transgender women do. So, the reason I find this whole thing to be hyper unhealthy, by the way, is because you have youth that are growing up trying to figure out who they are. If they are comparing their body against biological women, that is a standard that is unachievable. Period. Factually, it is unachievable. There is no amount of hormones, there is no amount of surgery that will get you to exactly that of a biological female. It's impossible. It has not happened. It will not happen ever. And I'm pretty confident in saying ever. Unless they can time travel and change your embryo before, no, it's not going to happen. It's just not. And people like to throw in intersex and all that to clout. No, intersex people are intersex people. They have their own biological conditions that apply to only them, and you do not get to take them and use them for your cause. They have always existed. I'm sure transgender on some spectrum has also always existed, just like homosexuality has probably always existed. Each one has their own thing. It's not exclusionary. This is just setting the terms of what each thing is and how each thing behaves. Right? But it's unhealthy for transgender youth, and I'm uncomfortable even saying that, to compare themselves against biological women. If anything, they should be comparing to transgender women. Those are the changes that they can expect to see. Those are the realistic body expectations that they can hope to achieve. Now, why I find it uncomfortable to talk about this idea of transgender youth, there really should not be children transitioning. You can disagree with me, that's fine. You can disagree. But I will never be on board with the idea of a child, someone who is underage, not yet an adult, being exposed to chemistry that is going to change them, sterilize them, and permanently alter their body. Texas Children's here in Houston has had to add an entire wing to their hospital to account for the fact that they predict that there's going to be a massive wave of detransitioners. So in other words, they're having to undo the damage that people pushing that message have caused. Who is going to answer for that? People should have to answer for that. And people have shut down the detransitioners and said, oh, their experiences are invalid. Me, myself, I have gone through the whole thing. I mean, obviously not the whole thing, but I mean, I have been to the appointments. Within 30 minutes was written a script for estrogen. Now tell me why. As a man, though, when I figured out that I just had other mental issues, I was in fact not trans, to treat those issues, I had low testosterone. To get prescribed a hormone that is natural to my own body, it took an act of Congress. Literally. Every doctor refused and tried to fear-monger me out of being prescribed a hormone that my body needed. Like scare you with, oh, you might get this type of cancer. And I'm like, not having the hormone in my body will also give me all this type of cancer. And what it boiled down to is my age. They're like, you're too young, you have not had kids. And I'm like, that's really not in the cards for me anyway. If I really want kids though, I can still fucking have them. Give me what I need. But they don't want to do that. What they wanted to do was prescribe me a plethora of other drugs for the depression, for the anxiety. That one hormone, testosterone, literally cured me of my depression, of my anxiety, of my weight gain that I had. All of that went away as soon as I addressed that issue and found a doctor that was willing to treat me. Do you know how absurd that is? But to be prescribed an alien hormone that should not be in my body, it was a 30-minute visit in a script. And then when you have questions or doubts, it's basically like, oh, but you might be a danger to yourself. You might delete yourself from the world. And that's not even accounting for the fact that your own tribe that was around you, who was brainwashing you, I can get into that in another video. As soon as you make up your mind, you know what, I still love you all. You're still all my friends, but it's just not for me. They go on this campaign of hate and just drag you through the mud. So the fact that I have finally found myself, that's not going to make me harm myself. But all the damage that they have actively done, that could have made me want to do that. They did the most damage to me. I'm still mentally recovering from things that were done to me at the expense of this community that is very much like just brainwashing. You can't have an original thought. It's just, and I'm not saying that about all transgender people. No. But these support groups, you should be very leery. Very, very, very leery. You're basically told, this is who you're going to vote for, and if you don't, we will drag you through the mud. We will call your job, we will call your employer, we will dox you, you name it. That's literally what they do. That's literally how they operate. Is that every group? Obviously not. You should be able to rub two brain cells together and know that I'm not making a blanket assumption about every human being that goes to these groups or whatever. That should just be common sense. I shouldn't have to break that down for you. I'm not going to. But either way, it's just not healthy.
I don't leave no track behind me. Water, take what I become. You can stand there in the silence. You can feel what I've done. I ain't asking for your mercy. I ain't begging to be clean. You don't know me like you think you do, but you know what I mean.